All right, so ignore the fact that I am a wreck right now. I am about to get up and get ready for the day. It is 9:04. Now, why are you getting up so late? Well, because I worked very late, but at the same time, I got up at 8. I had to edit. I've been editing in the morning lately and just uploading then, which is what I'm doing now. I found a clutch assembly, slave and master cylinder for $174 from O'Reilly's. They're about 10 minutes away. It's like 4.1 miles. So I need to get fuel yet. And for some reason come on, there we go. And yeah, so I'm gonna go and get that, which isn't very far, get fuel, get the master and slave cylinder installed, super easy. Then we gotta drop one, which is not very far at all. I think it was barely 2 hours away. And then we're gonna be working on picking one up. So again, not in a super big rush today, because either way the time will get made up. So I'm gonna be dropping cars tomorrow in Virginia, so that should be pretty simple. All right, another day, we're getting up. Oh man, so I do want to show you guys, I have the flip outs. I didn't like where I parked. Like, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's not the best either. There was semis like parked the whole way along here. So you guys can see, like, so I wouldn't have had to run the flip outs. I kind of wanted to anyway, just because I didn't want to move this one up here. So basically, if I would have, this one could have come up another foot. This one could have come up a good bit, okay? And then I wouldn't have had to run the flip outs. But again, I really did kind of want to try them and see, you know, how they are. So they are super heavy, but you can still from the back see the tail lights and everything. It's kind of weird because you think you wouldn't be able to, but you actually can from like every angle. Doesn't matter if you're directly behind it or any of that, you can actually still see them. So, but the load going up, so these two are going to Virginia for $500 and $600 for like shitty rates, garbage. But there's nothing I could do about it. I want to get home, and then I'm trying to find another one. I got to call another guy this morning, a direct customer. I'm gonna try to get, his is a little bigger, so I'm gonna try to get a little bit more for that. But I'm gonna try to get 1,000 out of them. Aside from that, I want to get this thing started so it's warmed up before I decide to beat the shit out of it going down to O'Reilly's. O'Reilly's was the only one that has it. They're like, we'll order it, it'll be in at 9:30. I'm like, great. Go in, brush my teeth, do my business, and we're good. All right, we got the part ordered. Should be here within a half an hour, and then I still need to get fuel. I'm like 73 miles till empty, which more so means like 20 miles, so. But yeah, that'll be the last startup on, I won't have to worry about it anymore. No more starting with the clutch, we'll be good. We're gonna go drop, and I gotta call another customer because we might have another one going up, so I'm gonna call him now. All right, here's the old hydraulics. There's usually a piece that goes right here, right? Well, what ended up happening was one day, you know, I had a sock on this pedal because, you know, I didn't have that rubber piece yet, and I ended up ripping it off and ended up pulling this out a little too far, and it broke the housing that was in the front of it. But it's been fine for a while, so I'm like, all right, you know, whatever, not a big deal. I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna fix it. I'll just, you know, I'll worry about it later. Well, later happened, and yeah, so now we don't have this. So we're gonna get a factory one to replace it. So it's 2 bolts up top, 2 bolts down below. You guys can see right there's the little housing, the hole right there. So get that swapped out once it's here, and we'll go from there. All right, parts are here. We found a fuel stop for 302, like a couple miles up the road, so I'm gonna do that. Oh yeah, nice new factory parts. Yep. All right, thank you to O'Reilly's for actually being able to get me the part. They went and picked it up and everything. So we are good, we are rolling now. Just gonna punch my logbook in, and we'll go from there. But looks like we'll be picking up soon. All right, filling up here at the Quit Mart. This is a weird one because like you gotta pay like over there. So big old puddle pulling in. I was kind of hesitant to pull in, but I did it anyway. The ramps actually did scrape on that, but that is a deep puddle. So truck is actually getting seriously dirty with this trip. So I'm going to, when I get back, like I said, every single time I go back into PA, I'm going to be washing this thing at least once. So it looks like one tank's full. I heard it click. Yeah. This one should still be going. But aside from that, you know, it's a weird spot. Not too bad at all. So we're headed, finally gonna be getting this thing off, and then I can pull them up. Hopefully we find another one. The direct customer I had, he found somebody else last night, I guess. So he didn't need us, but we'll be using him in the future if something needs to be moved. Man, this pump is slow. All right, I'm about to be pulling up to this place, and people blow my mind. So apparently my clutch hydraulics failed because I float my gears. Come on now. Anybody who knows how a master cylinder works knows that if you're not pushing on that pedal, it's not gonna fail. Like, Jesus, some of these people blow my mind. Good God. Look at this. Oh, float. Guess what I didn't use? My master cylinder. But let me see, if I push the clutch in, oh, now I'm using the master cylinder. See, Jesus, people are, oh my goodness. Everybody knows everything nowadays. Floating gears destroys your master cylinder. Come on now. All right, we're here now, and basically what I'm trying to do is I want to get all of the people that want to spread and post false information. Those are the people I don't mind getting rid of and having unfollow, because like, if you're gonna post something like that that's just completely wrong, I don't mind if that kind of person unsubscribes. I really don't. So other than that, we are here now. I am gonna put myself in on duty because we are dropping. We are going to be here a while because I gotta drop 2 cars, get them off, then drop the car that doesn't run, and then we'll go from there. So it's gonna be a fun one. I pinned the comment before. So somebody said, LMFAO, you were just talking shit about floating gears, said it's no big deal. And people in the comments who, you know, don't, yeah, I said that. They don't know what they're talking about, because if you can't float, you shouldn't be driving a stick. So he said, next week clutch took a shit. You do not know as much as you think you do. The clutch didn't take a shit. The hydraulics failed. Somebody explain to me how that makes sense. How, if I use this, it's gonna fail over time. If I don't use it, it's not gonna fail, but you guys understand that. So get rid of the people that post false information. All right, we got it off. I had to reverse snatch block it. So basically bring the snatch block down here, bring the winch back, and bring it back up and pull it down. So that was pretty easy. Now I'm gonna start bringing these cars back up. So I'll bring these up one at a time. All right, these 2 up here, we couldn't find a third one. Well, we found third ones, but you know, no one wants to answer their phone, so whatever. Not a big deal. I'm going home. I'm taking those 2 with me, and let's get out of here. All right, while I'm at it, I do also want to make mention, I'm not exactly a very politically correct type person. Also not like the kind of person that will go out of his way to like change his personality for people who don't like me. That's fair. That's fine. So basically, if people say something blatantly stupid, I'm gonna call it out. Just like if I do something stupid, people are gonna call it out. That's how it works. I'm not gonna fake my personality. So I do want to show you guys, here's what pushes into the master cylinder. And this connects to your clutch pedal, this and that. Here's a fact. This is why it failed. What ended up happening, I told you guys, I put the sock on it and I pulled it. What happened was, I pulled the clutch pedal so high that I ripped this portion here out of the housing, which in turn, you can see right there, destroyed the clip, okay? The clip is gone. So over time of me, every time you push this in and out, it would wear more and more. So every time you use it, you know, it had a chance of doing that. Did I know it had a chance of doing that? No, otherwise I would have replaced it. But one time I went to push it in and it just, that was it. And no clutch. So basically, if you don't use the clutch, this will last longer. This has about 200,000 miles on it anyway, but if you don't use the clutch, this will last a lot longer. And there was nothing wrong with this until I broke it like a month or 2 ago anyway. But yeah, so this is why it failed, and it was 100% my fault. But if you float, this will last longer. Just gonna put that out there. That is a fact. As long as, you know, shifting shifting without the clutch has nothing to do with the hydraulics. So that's just how it works. So let's get these things loaded. God, it was nice staying in the AC. But yeah, like I said, not very politically correct, not a person who's gonna change himself for people to like him. I'm not desperate for people to like me, but that's another reason why people like people, is because they don't change for people. So, I don't know which one of these is going first. I'm just gonna load it like this. Those are heavy. Getting rid of those would probably save me like 200 pounds, I'm gonna say. But I'm not gonna do that because I absolutely love those things. All right, we are loaded up, all good to go. I feel so bad for this guy that bought this car. He's an older gentleman, and I feel really bad because he bought that car from someone in New Jersey, and they completely told him like a lot of different things, like, you know, that it is a good car and that it'll run if he has this key. They sent him the key, and that car's been underwater. So other than that, we are gonna get rolling. Let's see, who is the closest to my route? We're dropping 2 off in Virginia, and then I'm going home. This is a $4,100 week. I made $3,050 down and then $1,100 back up. Definitely shit rates. I could probably be patient. If you're loaded this weekend and you got family and kids to take care of, props to you, like, for actually staying loaded. I should have been a little bit more prepared for this. I definitely wasn't. I got these loads booked yesterday and picked them up yesterday, so, you know, really does suck. But, you know, we're gonna get going. I'm gonna go get some ice for the cooler, maybe go get some food, and then we'll go from there. But I need to start adding some stops. We're going to, for anybody that needs to know, we're going to Charlottesville and Blacksburg, Virginia. So let's get going. All right, so to get that all done took about an hour and 20 minutes. He's still back there. He's trying to figure out how to put it in the driveway and everything. It's like, obviously that's gonna be impossible for us. We're mainly like curbside, you know, all that. I don't have the equipment to get it moved for him. Not to mention it's like 90 degrees. So he's got a brand new Ram 1500. So I guess he's gonna be pulling it in with his chain and everything. So, but we got 12 hours till drop. So we will 100% be dropping to tomorrow. I might actually be home tomorrow, but we'll see. Might be home tomorrow. I have 9 hours on the GPS. Good God, I will 100% be home tomorrow. So you guys always ask me, what's my preference on the G56 versus NV 5600 debate? And, you know, you can go back and forth for days, but this is one of the reasons, you know, I mean, I guess it's like a minor reason, but it's one of the reasons why I will never own a G56 is, one, if the hydraulics fail, you got to pull the transmission because it's literally in the transmission. There might be a way around it, there might not be, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure you have to pull the transmission. The G56, you really can't float. They don't really handle the abuse that an NV 5600 can. I mean, I understand there's things you can do to them. I know in the short distance, like, you can get away with it. I'm not sure how one would actually, like, handle up doing what I'm doing, like constant 700 miles a day and, you know, floating. I know that, like, I don't think you can really float a G56 all that well. I've heard that they have some inferior synchros, and the cases tend to crack. There is a way you can beef that up. You know, you can get a girdle for it and extra cooling and stuff, but it's like, the majority of times I hear things failing. I don't really see NV 5600s fail like G56s. Now, granted, you know, this is coming from somebody who has 533,000 miles on an NV 5600. So I'd be curious to see a G56, but I don't want to do it at my expense. You know, I wouldn't mind trying out and seeing how they handle, you know, floating, pulling. I'd say lightweight, like 26,000 pounds I consider light. But yeah, I would kind of be curious to see one. But yeah, my preference is NV 5600 all day. Like, I would just, this thing, I have put this thing through hell. Those hydraulics and clutch I put in 200,000 miles ago. The only reason the hydraulics failed was because of, I broke them a month or two ago. So don't rip on your clutch pedal, like try to pull your clutch pedal up, you'll break that little clip in there. So don't do that. Besides that, it's like, the clutch is still going strong. I hate the dual disc, I really do. It shifts terribly. I think I explained earlier, yeah, I float every gear just because of the fact that when you go to shift with the South Bend dual disc, you are always trying to force it into gear, and that's just what I've heard from every single person who's had a dual disc. I wish I could go back to a stock clutch, but pulling this weight, you really can't. We're heading, you know, somewhere. I'd like to go to a truck stop. I really want a chocolate milk and some ice for my tea. But we're getting the CRV back tomorrow. It's done today, but I'll probably pick it up Monday. So you guys saw that whole fiasco, right, with the dealership. I'm gonna end up calling them and maybe seeing if I can't, you know, get reimbursed for the engine itself, because I mean, it does kind of suck. I don't really expect them to do anything, but you know, we'll see where the morals are at. But 1,700 miles and the engine literally blew up. I had my dad mechanic go over it, and he said that engine, I would not rebuild it. It needs too much work. And basically, so I'm paying him, it was $900 to get the engine put in and swapped out and everything and do everything. And we threw a JDM V20B in it, and yeah, so I paid like $700 for the engine, like $690 it was. I went back and looked, it was like $690 and some change, and then $900 for that. So like almost $1,600 bucks to get an engine in and, you know, do all that. So kind of sucks, a little bit of bullshit, but really, I mean, it is what it is. We got the CRV back, so she'll have a decent vehicle, and then working on getting her a Durango. He's got two to choose from, so now I got to decide which Durango do I want. So either an 07 or an 08 with third row seating. I'm kind of looking forward to that. I'm really gonna try, I'm gonna push to be home tomorrow. I should be able to get within like 2 or 3 hours of this drop, and then we should be only a couple more hours from the other drop, and then I can pretty much just drive home. So it's definitely very doable. Drivers like this guy in the mirror give me a little bit more hope that I'm gonna get my CDL, because it seems like they'll just give a CDL to anybody. He pulls in with his left turn signal going right twice, and then blocking the pump. I'm like, man, what cereal box do I need to get my CDL out of? Because man, y'all make it seem so easy. Got my chocolate milk, by the way. Love me some chocolate milk on a nice hot day. Hopefully this is good chocolate milk and not garbage. Never tried this shit before. That is some of the worst chocolate milk I have ever had. Wow. Some of the worst chocolate milk I've had in a while. So you guys probably know this one. This is a Pilot that has like no parking and everything, and I always complain about it, but I went in there, I bought that chocolate milk. You guys saw my facial expression after I drank it. Ugh, that's terrible. So I went in there and I'm like, all right, so I went and bought 2 of these, right? Because I know I like those. I just think they're a little expensive for what they are. I'm like, I bought them, and I went in there, and you know, I was talking to the lady. I'm like, yeah, that was some of the worst chocolate milk I'd ever drank. And she's like, well, bring it back in, I'll give you your money back. I was like, are you sure? I was like, are you serious? She's like, yeah, absolutely. I was like, oh, well, shit, I didn't know that. I'm like, all right, so I brought it back in. She gave me my money back, and I got 2 of these. Because these, at least, I know I like, but I didn't know that was a thing. I thought that I just had to suck it up and throw it away. Like, okay. It's $4 that I got to just trade in. That's awesome. So, shout out to these guys. Super nice people. All right, we're getting pulled into that scale house. Sorry if you can't see too much. Let's see. Pulling on scale, stopper. Ugh. Alright, green lighted. Guess we're underweight. They put me in the back, you know, there's a bypass lane, there's a left lane, and there's a behind the scale house right lane. And they pulled me into the right lane. 7.5 hours away. We're moving pretty good. You know, I still got 6 hours on the GPS, or on the logbook, so keep her going. Well, I guess that's pretty much gonna do it for the day. I got 2 hours and 14 minutes on the logs and 1 hour and 57 minutes to go. So not, you know, not too bad, but I doubt I'm gonna be filming anything more. So I hope you guys enjoyed. See you in the next video. Appreciate you guys. Also, go follow my Instagram, links down below. CP Steve Miller at Instagram. Go check it out. We're almost at 1,000 followers. So go check it out. Appreciate you guys. Safe travels. See you in the next one.